Yeah, that was something serious. Even though I can run it, but 8 miles a day, my age, early like this, maybe I should just went up to 7. But the 8, woo, that was crucial. So, man, you got to make sure that you don't treat your body like a machine. Take it from the stock sniper. Yeah, I treat my body like a machine. So today, I just cut it all the way down. An easy 4-mile run. Yeah, I cut it down, guys. Why you cut it down, stock sniper? Because like little soreness in your thighs, right? On the back of your quads. That's not really, I probably would have kept it going, but like little joint pains, that's when you know you got to cut it back. So like, I started having joint pains, right? Which I knew what it was from. I went from 6 miles to 8 miles, and I did it every single. And on Friday, I barely made it through Friday, guys. Only because I think the only reason why I made it through. Hey, what's up, Jonathan Davis? The reason why I think I made it through on Friday is because, for one, I knew I had Saturday and Sunday off, and for two, I like running, and one thing I don't want to do, I don't want to sustain an injury that'll keep me out a week. Because once you don't run for a week or two, then the gains that you got, your cardio gains, just like lifting weights, if you stop lifting weights for a while, it's like you got to start all over. It's so hard to get to the points, but then once you get there, if you stop for 2 weeks or a month, you really got to just basically start over from scratch. So what I did was, I knew Friday that I had 2 days off. So I had those 2 days off. And today I felt a whole lot better. But as I got through the run, I was gonna take it as I go, right? So when I got on my first mile, the aches in the joints, they went away. So then I kept on going. When I got to 4 miles, they started to come back a little bit. So right then and there, I followed my first mind and be like, okay, let's shut it down right here and give the body a little bit more time to recover. So this week is gonna be a buffer week. I'm not gonna take off, I'm just gonna scale it down. Because guys, I've been running a lot since February, since the Super Bowl, right? Because remember, I've been doing all that running, and back then, in 2024, I was running 3.5 miles a day. Well, when the Super Bowl came, I meant to take off just for the Super Bowl. When we went to the Super Bowl, I meant to just take off for that and get back on it. And actually, I was wanting to try to run while we was in New Orleans. But then I just went on and took off. And then right after that, the Mardi Gras happened right after the Super Bowl. So I basically took a month off. And then as soon as I got back, I got invited to run in that Chevron Marathon that's coming up in January. And I've already ran in 2 marathons. So what I did was I stepped up my workouts, in other words. And after the Memorial Day marathon, what I didn't do, I didn't take no time off. I just took, the weekend off, and I was back on it. I was back on my same schedule. So I trained 9 weeks for that Memorial Day marathon. Then I ran in the 4th of July marathon. So I basically been doing this nonstop while going up in miles. So last Monday, I was feeling myself, and I just went out. I went out, and I thought I was gonna go up to 7 miles, but once I got up to 7 miles, I wasn't breathing. I was like, wow. So then I kept on going. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of last week, I ran 8 miles every single day. But on Friday, I felt kind of different, right? I realized, okay, I'm gonna need these 2 days off, which is Saturday and Sunday, right? So I took those 2 days off, and all the pain I was having in my joints of my knees went away with the 2 days worth of rest. So I come out here today, and my first mind was telling me, bro, don't try to stretch it out to 8 miles today. Don't do it. You got to remember, you're old, you're not young. So I'm gonna use this week as basically a layoff week. A layoff week meaning that I'm still gonna run, but I'm gonna drop back down to like 4 miles a day. I'm gonna drop back down to the 4, and then take it from there to give my body, because I'm kind of like healing right now. So when I do go back up, after I do the 4 miles, I'm gonna gradually move my way up to the 5, and then I'm gonna move my way back up to the 6. Then I'm not gonna jump from 6 to 8. I'm gonna jump from 6 to 7. Another thing I gotta stop doing is when I go up on these miles and I get to running my mouth on this walk down, I gotta cut it off at a certain time, because a lot of times, like last week, I was running 8 miles, but then the walk down, was taking me another, because 1 hour is 3 miles walking. So after I get off my run, I basically walked another 3 or 4 miles. So that add on to the tension too. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep these walk downs as I go up in miles running. I'm gonna keep these walk downs to like 30 minutes. Cause when I get to talking, what happens is I just keep on walking and talking. And I end up being on here an hour and a half. In an hour and a half, after running 8 miles and walking an hour and a half, that's another 5 miles. So I gotta be careful of that, especially with my age. And my aches and pains that's coming. You can't run through like your joints. If your joints, elbow, knee, Achilles down there by your ankle, if those things start aching, like when you put pressure on them, your lower back, things like that, that's a sign of overworking, right? So that's a sign of overworking. So I took 2 days off, and I feel good. I just ran 4 miles, and I feel real good. So this week is gonna be like a rest week. So some people might say, Stock Sniper, 4 miles a day, bro, that's not a rest week. Well, but for me it is, because I run 6 to 8 miles. I was running 6 miles a day, and then I jumped up to 8. Well, the 8 was too much. So I got a little aches and pains, in my knees. Just a little knee pain, just a little bit. So I had to back off. But I'm not gonna completely take the whole week off, like not run at all. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. So I can run the 4 miles, right? Do this live. Keep this at about 30 minutes, and then be done with it. Appreciate y'all for joining me. I'm your host, the one and only Stock Sniper, talking you through marathon training. If you don't know, I am running in a marathon in January of 2026. It's called the Chevron Marathon. If you know anything about the Chevron Marathon, that's the big marathon that I've been training for basically since February. But I've been going up in miles. This last time I went up too fast. So, and I don't want no injuries to keep me out of that race. So I'm gonna go back down to running the 4, and then see how it works the rest of this week. And then next week, I'll measure myself, and then hopefully we can get back to 7 miles a day. I'll wait on the 8. The 7, that's what we're gonna do. So I appreciate y'all for joining me. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. Where are you now? I'm on the track putting the work in. That's where I'm at. I'm out here putting the work in on the track. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm gonna keep this not really that long, because I'm still like recovering from that brutal week last week. Yeah, I barely made it through Friday. Barely. But good thing, it's called a rest day. 2 days of rest. But realistically, I should have took today off too. That's what I should have did. But hey, I feel good though. I feel good. I had a little bit of aching on the first mile, but then once I got going, it went away. Then it came back a little bit once I got a little bit up to 4 miles. So I say once I get to this 4th mile, yeah, I'm gonna go and shut it down and cut the phone on and do the walk down. Appreciate y'all for joining me. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper. Hit the like button for the algorithm. Hit the like button. Out here just chilling, guys. Europe? No, USA. I wish I was in Europe, but now I'm in America. But yeah, I wish I was in Europe. Yeah, I do. But I'm in America. How y'all doing out there, y'all? We got 35 people in the building on this walk down. Appreciate y'all for joining me. How y'all doing? Yeah, I've been getting the DMs. A lot of people like this walk down. I've been getting a lot of people DMing me on Instagram, telling me that they finally got off the couch and now they're walking and they're out doing their thing. Yeah, you don't have to start running, guys. I'm training for a marathon, so it's different. You can just get out and just start walking. I challenge everybody on this line, get up and get out and walk 3 miles or whatever you can do. A good 3 miles every single day. It's good for the mental health. Well, Stock Sniper, 3 miles, how long does that take? It takes me roughly 22 minutes to run a mile. It'll take you about almost an hour and a half, I would say. Yeah, about an hour and 15 minutes, something like that. But see what you can do, guys? A lot of us got a phone. You can watch TV. You can listen to the movie. You can cut on one of my big videos that you like a lot. And you can listen to my video and listen to me run my mouth for an hour and 15 minutes. You can watch Netflix. All you gotta do is hold the phone and watch a movie and just walk. Walk. By the time the movie is over with, you'll be done. Watch your favorite movie or a new movie. I hear they got some good movies on Netflix. Yeah, I gotta catch up on my Netflix movies. I gotta catch up on them, guys. But yeah, man, I appreciate the people that's been hitting me up in the DMs about what I'm doing, putting the work in out here. But yeah, you just gotta start walking, guys. That's it. Start off like that. Don't say, well, that old man to do all that running, I'ma just off the top start running. Nah, I wouldn't recommend that. Start off walking. Start off walking. Before you go to work or when you get off, just break out and start walking, man. It's good for your mental health. And then drink less sodas. Drink less sodas, smoke less cigarettes and tobacco, and just get out and start walking and drink more water and coconut water and smoothies and things like that. And you'll be ready to rock and roll. I don't care. I don't care. Just get out and start walking. It's amazing of what just cutting out sodas and drinking water every single day will do. Just that alone, it will make your insides and your system run a whole lot better. Yeah, that's what it'll do. So that's what I got going on, guys. It's the start of a new week. Happy Money Monday. I feel pretty good about today. I'm probably at about 80%, but sometimes it be like that, guys. Every day is not 100%. When you're on this road of putting the work in, every day is not 100%, guys. Some days, it's like Friday. I was at about, bro. I was probably about, I was probably about 65%. Friday, by the end of the week, I wasn't even passing, guys. I was below 70. You know, in school, you got to make a 70 above the pass. Friday, I was at around, I was about a 65 on Friday. But see, the thing is, when you love something, you really don't want to miss it. So I should have taken a day off on Friday, but I said, nah, I pushed myself, you know. I pushed myself, and we made it through. So now we're on the walk down, trying to putting the work in. Not trying to, we are putting the work in. That's right. That's all you got to do, though. The people that's been hitting me up on Instagram, don't just take off running, because you got to understand, I've been doing this. I ain't just got here. I've been here. I've been here putting the work in. I've been doing this. So if you ain't been doing it, guess what? Your best thing for you to do is start eliminating sugar. Eliminate drinking that soda. Clean your system out. That's probably the first thing you need to do. Start cleaning your system out. Start not going to Jack in the Box and these fast food places. You start right there, and then you start walking. That's all it takes. Just start walking. Say, you know what? I'm going to dedicate myself. You ain't got to start off with 3 miles a day. Walking, that is. Start off with, start off with about 1.5 miles. Start off there. And put a movie on. And just take off walking and watch the movie. But when you're walking, don't walk slow. Keep up a good pace. Like you got somewhere to be, you know? That type of pace. That's not too fast. That's not too slow. That's like saying, I got to get down there to that red car, and I got to get there. And guess what? I start moving. That's how you do it, and then do that every single day for 90 days, depending on your level. So you got to be smart about it. If you know you've been sitting on the couch or sitting behind the desk for 15 years or 10 years, then you got to think about it. You know, you got to think about it. You got to listen to your body. You know, that's how it works. And you also got to put the right things in your body. That's more important than anything. It's more important. So that's what we got going on this walk down. I think this is number 35, the 35th episode of the walk down. I wanted 50 episode to be on Friday, which, if y'all don't know, Friday is my birthday. We're gonna be doing Cash App giveaways on Friday, which I wanted it to be the 50th episode of season 2, but it don't look like we're gonna make that goal, which is all right. You know, sometimes you set out goals. Sometimes you exceed your expectations, and sometimes you don't make what's expected. You know, kind of like a company's earnings report. Y'all know we are in earnings season right now. What is earnings season, Stock Sniper? That's when every company, the companies that we love, we know, like, and trust, Apple, all these companies, they have an earnings report, which comes out every 3 months, where they have what they expect, which is a goal, and then when that day comes and the numbers come out, did we make expectations on the earnings, or did we miss expectations on the earnings? So my expectations on what I had, my goal I had for the 15th, which is my birthday, I wanted to be at 50 episodes of the walk down on that day, but I did not. And where it looks like I'm not going to make expectations, which is okay. We just know we just got to do better the next time. But where I did beat expectations is by my birthday. I had a goal of getting 3,500 subscribers by the 15th. And thanks to y'all, shout out to everybody in the comment section. Shout out to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. Thanks to y'all, we exceeded that goal. Yeah, my other goal was to hit 3,500 subscribers by the time my birthday came. And guess what? We're beating that, guys. It looks like Friday, we will probably be at about 3,800 subscribers by Friday. That's what we're looking at right now. So we did beat expectations on the subscriber count, but on the walk down, which is more important, which is very, very important, the numbers on the walk down, we didn't make that goal. And that's mainly because of me. So I think we're at around 35. So by Friday, we should be at 40. So I'm gonna be like 10 off the goal unless I start pushing out a lot of walk downs just to make the goal, which I might do that. I don't know yet. But that's what I'm thinking about doing, just pushing out more walk downs. That way I can be at 50 on Friday. And then we got a football game on Saturday, which the Texans will be playing Carolina Panthers. So this weekend is my birthday weekend. How old you'll be, Stock Sniper? I'll be 52 on the 15th, 52 years old. That's how old I'll be. And I'm right at 22 minutes on that mile walk. So I could have walked a little bit faster to go up under 22, but I average around 22 minutes walking after the run. So I'm right at my goal of 22 minutes, which I could have beat it. Don't take stock advice from a guy who has a flip phone camera. Well, I know a guy that's very, very wealthy, Andrew, that actually don't have a phone at all. Take that. I know somebody that's very, very heavily invested in the stock market, and guess what? He don't even have a phone. Imagine that. He don't even have a phone. Just think about that for a second. See, guys, that's what keep us stuck, right? What would keep us stuck, Stock Sniper, is worrying about what somebody else got going on. You know what I'm saying? Worrying about what somebody else got going on. Did you know? I ain't gonna even say that, but that's what keep us stuck. Like worrying about what somebody else got going on, worrying about what somebody else doing, instead of staying in your own lane and minding your own business. Think about that for a second, guys. This guy is, instead of listening to me basically explain about something that can help him out as far as fitness. He's making jokes about a flip phone. Guess what? If I do got a flip phone, guess what that means? That means I didn't spend that much money on the phone. That means my phone bill ain't that high. That means I ain't paying $1,000 for an Apple phone. Guess what I'll do? I'll buy that flip phone, and then I'll take the other $800 or $900 that's left, $800, and guess what I'll do? I'll invest it into the stock market. See, that's how the wealthy people think, guys. We'll instead of taking that $1,000 and put it into the stock market, guess what we're going to do? We're going to go buy designer clothes. We're going to, what else we're going to do, Stock Sniper? We're going to buy an Apple phone. Instead of buying 8 shares of Apple, they're going to buy an Apple phone. Instead of buying a flip phone, right? Which all you need is a basic phone that you can answer and receive calls. That's it. And do some basic little internet surfing if you want to. Basically, some basic internet stuff. And guess what? Invest the rest of that money into the stock market. You see how it works? Warren Buffett. There you go. Warren Buffett, big timer. Guess what he eats at? He eats at McDonald's, guys. Come on now. We got to think about some things, man. We got to think about some things. That trying to live like the Joneses, that's not the style, guys. See, some people try to make that the style, but it's really not the style. If you can see what's going on in America, a lot of people are starting to go back into the 50s and the 60s. What do you mean, Stock Sniper? A lot of people are starting to stop spending all that money, going to basic things like a flip phone instead of buying an Apple phone. People are choosing not to buy the Apple phone and are buying flip phones. Why? Because they do the same old thing. That's what's going on, guys. A lot of people are like, if they got a house, they're selling their real estate and they're buying land and they're putting something on the land that don't even really cost that much. It's called saving money. It's called not living like the Joneses. That's what a lot of people are doing right now. That's what a lot of people are doing, guys. They're cutting back on spending. In other words, we have been getting a financial literacy class right before our eyes. See, while you worrying about a flip phone, you know what I'm saying, thinking you cracking the joke about a flip phone is not really that bad of a phone. I'm just saying. It's really not. It does the same thing as an Apple phone. So I would rather own the flip phone and own Apple stock rather than own the Apple phone and don't own no Apple stock at all. Which makes sense to you? To have an Apple phone, but then don't own not one share Apple stock? Or have a flip phone, like this guy says I have. I got a flip phone, and guess what? I own Apple stock. What would you rather do, bro? Let me know. Hey, hi, Mark. Let me know what you would rather do. What makes sense? See, this channel, you come over here, try to make fun of somebody, then we put you where you need to be. We put something on your mind. That's the goal. Why you ain't block him, Stock Sniper? I didn't block him because I understand that way of thinking, because I used to be young and I used to think like that too. It's called stinking thinking. I used to have that stinking thinking too until I changed my mind. Yeah. So I appreciate y'all for joining me. I am your host, the one and only Stock Sniper, on this walk down. Actually, I'm glad I didn't push myself and go on and run the 8 miles. I'm kind of glad that I listened to my body and I shut down at 4 miles. That was a good thing that I did. Yeah, that's a good thing. Because see, sometimes, us older people, once we get to running and exercising and we feeling like we're in shape, for some reason we start thinking we're 20 years old again. And I think that's what happened to me last week. I was so excited how good I felt last Monday when I came out the gate and run 8 miles and I didn't even breathe. I felt like I was 20 years old again. So then I came out the rest of the week and I ran 8 miles every single day. And Friday I had to push myself to do it. And now I had to come back down to reality. That's what I had to do, which is okay. Which is okay. Hold up, guys. Let me pass up this guy that's where he stopped. Yeah, they cutting the grass out here on the golf course. Now y'all see, man, everybody out here playing golf, chilling. What time is it? At 2:15 in the evening? Out here just chilling. Oh yeah, another tip. If you're not used to being in 100-degree heat, please don't do this walking in the 100-degree heat. Don't do it, guys. Well, why are you doing this, Stock Sniper? I'm doing it because I'm used to doing this. I'm used to running in the heat. I'm used to exercising in extremely intense weather. I did it in the snow. I did it in the rain. And I did it in the heat. So I've been doing it. So you got to take that into consideration. You can't say, well, that old man on YouTube doing it, I'm gonna do it too. Nah, you can't do that. You got to understand. I've been doing it for a very long time. Yeah, it's 100 degrees out here. So, I mean, you got to understand, especially if you haven't been running, and specifically if you drink a lot of sodas, you got to understand too, I don't drink no sodas, guys. If I do, it's just to taste the taste. It's called a cheat day. I will do that then, but every day I drink nothing but water. So as soon as I put my feet on the ground and I say my prayers to God, I drink water before I do anything. If y'all see me at my desk in my black jug, I drink about 2 gallons of water a day. And it starts as soon as I put my feet on the ground, and then it ends as soon as I lay my back on the ground. So in other words, I'm drinking water throughout the day. And another tip, if you want to get up to drinking a gallon of water a day, best thing to do is to have you a jug. How I started, because some people say a gallon of water a day, that's a lot. It's really not a lot if you think about it. If you ain't drinking sodas, if you ain't drinking beer, and you're just drinking water or coconut water, because that does count. If you're drinking water or coconut water, if you would drink water with every meal, and then as soon as you wake up in the morning, you start drinking on water, and just drink all day throughout the day, out that gallon jug, you'll see by the end of the day when it's time to go to bed, that gallon will be gone. That's how I trained myself to drink a gallon of water every day. Just start drinking. And how I do it is like, if I don't have a gallon jug, I have a half a gallon jug, like the one y'all see me at when I'm at my desk. That's a half of that black jug I be drinking out of every morning. That is a black half a gallon jug. And as soon as I get up, after I pray and I meditate, I put my feet on the ground. First thing I try to grab every single morning is that jug of water. And I drink it before I do anything. I hit me some water. Hit me at least enough for a cup, a 12-ounce bottle. But I do it in a jug. And then all during the day, I drink out that jug. I carry it with me everywhere I go. It's with me right now. Sometime when I get done with this, the water gonna be hot because it's been sitting in the car. But guess what? I'm gonna drink that water. You know what I'm saying? And then when I get back to where I need to be, you know what I'm saying? Then I get it refilled, and then I start drinking throughout the rest of the day. By the time 9 or 10 o'clock a hit, I'm still drinking water until it's done. Wayne, Stock Sniper, wouldn't you pee a lot? Well, what you realize, once you get used to drinking water, you really don't pee a whole lot. You really don't. Because your body gets used to it. You know what I'm saying? And all that sugar, all that gunk, all that junk is gone. You know, because actually, when you're drinking soda, that's mostly sugar. That's all it is. It's sugar, water, and food coloring. I said it. And whatever they make, whatever it is to make it fizz up like you do. So it's mostly sugar. So you might as well just take a glass of water and dump about 50 gallons of sugar, 50 ounces of sugar, no, 50 grams. 50 grams of sugar in that little bitty can they give you, or that little bitty bottle. They say it's 35 grams of sugar, but I don't believe them. I actually think it's more than that. Yeah, that's what I actually believe. Even 35 grams of sugar in a 12-ounce bottle, that's a lot of sugar if you really think about it. Do you have any positions or interest in crypto? Yeah, just the basic crypto plays, basic Bitcoin, just the top ones. And as far as companies go, just the basic companies, I like to stick with the companies I already know, like, and trust. Like that, I try to stick with those, because that's basically what I know, and I try to keep it just like that. With the companies that I know, like, and trust, and ETFs. I keep it real simple. Because see, what it is, guys, with the internet, people try to make, like, investing into these companies complicated. I like to keep it really, really simple. I'm really heavy on AI, like I was on the .com bubble. That give you an idea how old I am. So I'm really heavy on AI, same as what I was when the internet and Google and the .com and all that came out. So I think that's happening again. All that, the Microsofts, the IBMs, and all those companies that came out when the internet first became invented, that's what AI is today. So with the development of AI, we're able to get ahead of the game and start investing into these companies very, very early. Because if you got a gaming computer of any of those things, that computer is programmed by NVIDIA, it's programmed by AMD, and these type of companies like that, AI companies. They are, their products are inside of these computers, especially the gaming computers. Because I know my gaming computer has NVIDIA products, and my other computer has AMD products as well. So that's what I like to do. See, I learned from an old investor, which is my grandfather. He told me always invest, don't complicate it. Investing is not complicated. You just invest in the things that you already know, like, and trust. You already know the company. You already using the products. You probably work for them. Another example, if you working for a company, right, you should be owning the stock, not only in the 401k plan, but you should be owning the stock individually in your own portfolio. That's what my grandfather taught me many, 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 many years ago. And that's how I roll. I roll with the companies that I already know, like, and trust. And that's what I basically, that's how I tell my kids and grandkids. Don't make it so complicated. Just go with the things you already know, like, and trust, and keep it simple, because the stock market and crypto is it's very overwhelming. It's a lot of stuff that goes with the stock market, and there's a lot of stuff that goes with crypto, and it can be like a lot, and people try to make it seem like they so smart and try to push it down your throat, all these different things, and then they'll switch it up on you and try to bring up something else. But then all you gotta do is keep it simple. Keep it nice and simple. That's how it works. Keep it nice and simple. And then start with the things that you know, like, and trust, and then think long term. We know Bitcoin. We know Ethereum as far as cryptos. We know Bitcoin, we know Ethereum. Stick with that. That's how I do it. Like that. There's a lot of cryptos that they be talking about. You gotta jump through a hula hoop. You gotta run around the block. And you gotta jump through a hula hoop, and then when you get through that, You got to jump in the swimming pool and get out the swimming pool. In other words, some of these cryptos, you got to do a lot just to buy it. You got to go through Uniswap and this, all these different things. Oh, no. I ain't got time for all that. I stick with what I already know and what I like and what I trust. Yeah, that's how I rock with it. XRP, Cardano, the ones that we already know about. All these other cryptos that be coming out of thin air, I try to stay away from them. Because that's the quickest way to get scammed. You know, that's the quickest way to get scammed. That's how it works. That's the quickest way to get scammed, guys. You know, trying to be greedy and money hungry. If somebody say, throw you something out there, and they say they done made this and that off of it, that don't necessarily mean that you are. And then that's how a lot of people get caught up, being money hungry. Best thing to do is stick with the things you know, like, and trust, and think long term, and you'll be all right. Stick with crypto, the main honchos. Stick with the companies we already know, like, and trust. The honchos. And then the honchos, like Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, and all these companies, they're going to give you, right? They're going to give you, this is a big tip right here. A lot of these companies, when they are invested in other companies, like the smaller ones, they're going to tell you. That's a tip right there. They're going to tell you what companies that they are investing in. Yeah, they're going to tell you. So that's how I go. And then once you do that, you already have like 50% of what you need to know then. And then all you got to do is understand how to read certain numbers, earnings reports. And you already know about the products, you know. Then when you go to buy your Apple phone, or you go get your Amazon package, or you order off Amazon, you start looking at it totally different. You start looking at it totally different. You start looking at what is the CEO trying to do? Where is the CEO going with the company? What new products are we bringing to this table? You know, like DoorDash. They say DoorDash, boy, did real good as far as their earnings. That they earnings beat by 25%. And that example, that's an example, DoorDash. In other words, a lot of people are ordering food, and DoorDash earnings increased 25% from last quarter. Shout out to DoorDash. So that's an example. When those are the things. When you're investing into these companies long term, you know the product, all of it, like DoorDash. A lot of us use DoorDash all the time, and Uber, right? And Grubhub and the other ones. Well, if you like the company, if you like the things that they got going on, you know, you invest into the company, and then you get to know the CEO. As far as where's the CEO, it only take a little Google search for that, and you get in on these earning calls and find out what's going on. And then when you see new stuff that they putting on the app, oh shoot, DoorDash is adding on whatever, whatever industry they're trying to get into. They're trying to tap into that industry. They're trying to tap into this industry. Now they're not just picking up food, they're picking up packages. You know, now they're not just picking up food and packages, now they're picking up people. You know, that's, and then when you own some of these stocks, then you start thinking differently. You start thinking differently. Like Apple, you know, if you own an Apple phone, You know, when you go get your phone, you're gonna be looking and see is that line around the block. You know, if the line is around the block, the upgrade, everybody loves the upgrade. Everybody loves the new Apple phone 20 or whatever number they on right now. Everybody loves the iPad updates. You know, everybody's buying iPhones. Or then, you know, we just got news that Apple is investing $600 billion into America. You know, okay, well, what are they trying to do with that? You start looking at things differently. When you just buying the phone and you just looking at yourself as a customer, you're not paying attention to those things. You're paying attention to what's going on in the world, right? You're paying attention to what these politicians are doing, who they are working with, you know, which it really has a lot to do with the economy. You know, it has a lot to do with it. I walked a little bit too much now, guys. Let's see, we had 46 minutes. Yeah, I think that's it. I was only supposed to do 30, but you know, I get to talking and I get to walking. But I'm gonna end it right here, guys, because one thing I don't want is to have to take off from putting the work in. That's one thing I'm not gonna do. But I still got coming up on 2.5 miles, because I didn't go all the way around. This is my second time going. Okay, yeah, I'm coming up on right on around 2 miles and a quarter. 2 miles and a quarter. So by the time I get up there, I'm gonna end the live. I appreciate y'all for joining me. Appreciate the people that's been coming in, tapping in with me. I know sometime over here, the service can be kind of bad, but you know, I like running in this area. I like it, but I know I'm gonna have to change up. So y'all, I know the service is kind of bad over here sometime, but it's all good. I will be changing it up. I will be going to another spot, and hopefully it's a lot better over there. And for the guy in the back, no, I don't have a flip phone, bro. It's just this area is not good with service. That's what it is. It's the area that I am in. And it's hot. It's over 100 degrees out here. So, and I've been out here a while putting the work in. So forgive me if the phone is losing signal. You might not get a good connection. You know, probably can't hear me as well. It's because of this area, which I will be changing it. I will be going to a different area that we can get a better connection, if that makes sense. So we got, what, 16 likes? Oh, man. I appreciate y'all for hitting the like button. Appreciate y'all. See, I look at the comments, but I don't look at them that much because it's really, really hot out here. And look at the sun. The sun is beaming down on me right now. But it's all good as we rock and roll to the end of this walk down. Appreciate y'all for joining me. This is the 35th episode of season 2. We're trying to get to 50 by Friday, but it don't look like that's gonna happen. Don't look like that. Hope y'all having a great afternoon. Hope y'all having a great Money Monday. Everybody that had the weekend off and back had to come put the work in, whether it's on the track, on the field, on the court, in the office, you know, in the plant, wherever you at. Appreciate you for rocking with me. Whatever country you in, appreciate you for rocking with me as we come down to the end of this walk down. It's just about a wrap. Yeah, I appreciate all y'all for rocking with me, man. Everybody that's been subscribing to this channel, I really, really appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. You know, so that means that there are a lot of like-minded people, you know, that we identify with each other together. That's the reason why it's going like this, you know. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, because especially on this walk down, you know, and a lot of people like this walk down. I get a lot of feedback about it. A lot of people are telling me that they're walking. You know, I'm getting more people in my inbox about exercising than about the stock market, which is great, because guess what? There is no wealth if you ain't healthy. It's not. You can have all the money in the world. If you ain't healthy and you get sick, guess what's going to happen? You ain't going to be able to enjoy it. There is no wealth without your health. It doesn't work like that. That's why it's very important. While you're on your path to accumulating funds, you got to also be on the path you also got to be on the path of bettering your health. That's the way you eat. It's exercising is even as much as just walking. It's all it takes. You ain't got to lift no weights. You know, walking is great for cardio, fast walking. You ain't got to run. You ain't got to run a lot of miles like I do. You can just walk. But you got to make sure you're taking care of your body. You got to put the right things in your body. You got to make sure you're drinking water. You got to make sure you're not eating a Jack in the Box and Whataburger. Try to eliminate as much as possible. Because guess what, guys? Those billionaires up there that own those fast food companies, they're trying to figure out a way to make those burgers cheaper. Right? They're trying to figure it out, guys. All that meat and stuff they got off up in there, they're trying to figure out a way to make all that stuff cheaper, man. Just think about it. You get a burger for, I think, $1.50 for a hamburger. Just think about how much they actually paid, what they had to do to whip up the stuff to make that patty, to make it where they can sell the burger for $1. Just think about that for a second. There got to be something in there. And guess what? I used to be a really big Jack in the Box eater and Whataburger. And I really didn't eat McDonald's that much, but I love Jack in the Box. I loved Whataburger. Guess what? I feel 100% better just by eliminating those things and not drinking sodas. A big old 42-ounce, big old extra large soda. You know how much sugar is in an extra large Coke? We're talking about 35 grams inside a 12-ounce can of soda. Think about how much sugar is in an extra large, those big old extra large cups they give you full of soda. Think about how many grams of sugar is in that. You might as well take 35 and multiply by 4. Almost 150 grams of sugar is inside of a large soda. Think about that for a second. Just think about that for a second. Matter of fact, go to the corner store, go buy you a scale and go buy you some sugar and weigh up 35 grams of sugar and then weigh up 150 grams of sugar and see how much sugar is actually in those bottles and in those large sodas. It's really a lot. So I appreciate y'all for joining me. That's it right here. I've been running my mouth a little bit too much. Thank y'all for joining me. For the people that's been hitting me up on Instagram, I hope those few tips helped you out. Keep on going. Don't stop. Don't stop. Keep going. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Eliminate as much sugar as you can. Eliminate going to those fast food restaurants. And guess what? Maybe one day, you'll be able to run 6 miles a day, 8 miles a day like I do, and put the work in. So with that being said, I love and I appreciate y'all. To the next one, I'm out.